Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Three Wise Guys podcast. And I am so happy today, boys. You know why I'm happy today?
What?
Okay. Davin is back.
I thought you were gonna say
Okay. I am also happy that, you know, the Dallas Cowgirls. Cowgirls. It's not the Dallas Cowgirls.
You know what?
Are they called the Dallas Cowgirls?
Yeah. No,
It's Cowboys cheerleaders, but are the Cowboys cheerleaders called Cowgirls?
I doubt
They
it.
should be.
They should be if they're not.
This just shows none of us have watched the show.
We haven't watched the show. First of all, welcome back, Davin.
Thank you.
Back from his brave expedition. He's recently launched a cafe. We shouted it out already. We're going to do it again. Go to Kidultland, Leslieville, Toronto. They have amazing crawfuls, wonderful street eats. I really like the bubble tea as well. Like awesome space in the back. There was a sick live performance. You really did it up. I have my Google review that I need to write still. You know, I'm working on it, Davin. Yeah, I got you.
We took
got
photos,
pictures.
so you know we'll write a good one. But
Yeah.
I was gonna say I want to shout out one specific thing, which is like when you go to a bubble tea place, I've been seeing this. Like I don't know if this is like inflation or shrinkflation, whatever the fuck you call it. But the play, I feel at most bubble tea chains, like you go to a Cha Time, a Coco, at the Alley, the regular is like fucking tiny. The regular is like nothing. The regular is like so small, and then the large is like exorbitantly big. So you're just like, okay, do I want like a whole meal in a drink, or do I want not enough to satisfy my bubble tea craving? So everyone ends up getting the large. You know what I mean? They end up
It's only like $1 more or like 75 cents more as well.
Exactly for like double or something. Like I don't know what the exact math is. And like when you got the regular bubble tea yesterday, I saw you order it. I was like, oh, Aria, like that's not the play. But then when you got it, I was shocked at how big it was. I was like, oh wow, that's a good size. I would actually get that.
I'll tell you why I made that decision. Okay, I'm bad with names, so it doesn't even matter. I don't need to know. I don't need to say the name of the person who took my order. But I asked her. I was like, how big is the large? And she showed me, and then I compared it visually between the regular, and I was like, yeah, no, the small is definitely worth. Like it's a solid option here. Yeah.
That's usually the take that we get when we show people our sizes, and then when people do order the big one, I'm like, damn, you're
hungry.
You thirsty.
So Luke would have ordered the large one, even though he wasn't thirsty.
If he saw it, he would have taken the regular.
Dude,
if he asked for the comparison.
I fully got.
He wouldn't have asked. He'd have just been like, "This is the play."
You're right. You're fully right. If I got the bubble tea, and I did get bubble tea yesterday.
Oh yeah.
We went to Kidultland, not yesterday, but and dude, all I can say is this, man. Like, I'm not like lactose intolerant, but I think when I drink milk specifically, like it's bad. It's bad, bro. I was not having a good time last night.
This is like what's that condition called where you think you have something and so then you end up having it? Hypochondriac?
No, hypochondriac just is someone that's really germaphobic, like extremely germaphobic.
No, that's not it.
But like I don't know, yeah, like
Both those
Yeah,
definitions
anyway,
are wrong.
I just figured like that, like Luke is like spending so much time with his girlfriend that he's becoming lactose intolerant as a result.
it's like what is it? Their cycles are sinking.
It's like,
No, it's it was rough. It was rough.
I think psychosomatic.
Psychosomatic. That's the term. Yeah, psychosomatic.
Okay.
It's like it's like a positive manifestation of like a disease.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at what you're manifesting. Look.
I manifested like
So
lots
can we
of.
go like, I'm not lactose intolerant.
Say it.
Speak positivity.
Say it. No,
I'll
no,
say
no.
this. I've heard lots of lactose intolerant people try the other one and it never works.
Okay,
So-
well, it clearly
believe
works for you.
this.
Say it now. Say it on air. Let the fans know. Let everyone know.
Everybody tell your
Everyone's
deepest, darkest
lactose
secrets.
intolerant, by the way. People just have better tolerances.
Okay, fine. I don't have IBS. I don't have IBS.
We're all clear. We drank a green juice during the day, so it's all good.
Oh my god!
All right.
All I asked was for him to say he wasn't gonna get it. He's like, everyone has it. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
You're not gonna get what you want.
Clearly.
We have not learned anything from the past like
jeez.
almost 3 years
Wait,
now.
but-
We've been living together.
But D, you do know everyone's lactose intolerant, right?
Sure. Like I won't say that was something I was aware of, but now that you say it,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's factual.
It is true. Like humans are not like born to drink other animals like milk. People just have better, like different ethnicities have different tolerances over time, basically.
So there's no lactose in like breast milk, like human breast milk.
It's like, I think it's a different type or something, but everyone's like lactose intolerant to a degree. People are just better at dealing with lactose
Okay, so it says not everyone is lactose intolerant, so no.
to a degree.
But
degree.
most adults are to some degree. So I mean, this is what AI is saying. But you know, it's like, and you know what? Actually, you take it. You take the lead here, because I was about to go into like a fucking tangent, and I was like, no, D. They've had conversations with you off air. Stop! Don't derail episodes that are going well. So I'm exercising self-restraint. And yes,
You know, I'm exercising self-restraint right now too. My curiosity to know what you were gonna say is really brimming through here, but I'm gonna try and keep it on track. I think.
there we go.
I mean, maybe we'll say that for a future episode. We'll rapid fire some more headlines for the past 2 weeks. So shout out to the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, who should be colloquially known as the Dallas Cowgirls.
they might actually just be known. Can we check? Like, is that what they're called?
I'll open the article here, but the headline here is that they just got a pay raise.
Yes.
They got a 400% pay raise.
yeah.
I read the article.
I'm a
It is
feminist.
insane. First of all, shout out to the Dallas Cowgirls.
Okay, I shouldn't have said that, but
What are they called?
no,
No, they're not called the
Yeah,
Cowgirls.
it's just-
They're called America's Sweethearts. That's the documentary.
Oh, because it's
Yeah.
America's team and then America's
Yeah,
sweethearts.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that's actually more classy.
I like it. Nonetheless, I applaud the entrepreneurial spirit coming out of this, or like the stand up spirit. You know that.
It's not entrepreneurship. This is feminism, dude. What are you talking?
Okay, sure, yeah, it's feminine.
Yeah, like shout out equal pay for the ladies. I love it.
All right, beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I mean, equal pay. I mean, I don't think.
I don't know. That was
cheerleading
that was
teams
a
as
laugh.
well.
I was virtue signaling.
There's guys on the cheerleading teams.
Oh,
Yeah, you saw the Argos have guys on the cheerleading team.
is
as
that
well.
do they call them a
true in
cheerleading team or a
America?
dance team?
No, they're on the cheerleading team. Like
Okay.
they like it's all the, like, for example, with the Argos, it's the A team, right?
Okay.
But it's like there's guys and girls on the A team. Raptors dance pack. There's guys and girls on the Raptors dance
have seen
pack.
that, yeah.
The teams are differentiated between what they do. Like there's gymnasts and then there's like dancers, right?
Oh, you see, Dallas Cowboy, the DCC squad,
all
are
women.
Oh, look at that.
They're all
So-
women.
So no equal equity.
Well,
like
yeah,
no
anyways,
co-ed.
yeah. Just straight for the
yeah.
But 400% raise. They didn't disclose exactly how much they got the raise for, right? But one of the cheerleaders said, basically they get paid like for rehearsals, and then they get paid for the games, the home games, and then they get paid for like appearances and things like that,
Yeah.
right? Per event. It equated to maybe about like $19 an hour is what they said in the article.
After
And-
the raise,
no, before the raise. Now one of the, by the way, the
what's minimum wage in Dallas? Could you please check?
I'm not sure, but
No?
be
the
Texas.
cowgirl that cowgirl, I
Texas,
keep
yeah.
saying it, the sweetheart
Sweethearts.
that kind of coordinated the whole thing. She retired right after she got the raise.
Oh, look at her.
So she
Yeah.
didn't even get to like take benefit.
Yeah,
of
she did it all for her team and everything. I thought that was pretty cool, but basically she said she expects like the senior cheerleaders to make upwards of like $75 an hour.
75.
400% increase.
This is right.
75.
This right here on screen is the reason. Sorry, this is a tangent, but it is important to say. Is the reason why Search is gonna die.
Okay.
Look at this.
Luke just got
Gavin-
triggered.
Channeling his inner marketing.
Yeah, he
professor
just
right
got
now.
super triggered right now.
I'm just-
But we have, like, what Luke is referring to is we have very quality information at our fingertips right now.
Yeah, like Davin searched up like what was the minimum wage because D was like what was the minimum wage, and then it brought up minimum wage versus living
Living
wage,
wage,
and then
yeah.
it brought up broader context and other things. Point being, like, these would be additional searches
Yeah,
for
yeah.
informational queries on Google. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, you just saved like 3 searches. Sorry, but
Anyways, so shout out to the to America's Sweethearts, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. I'm really never gonna get that.
America's Sweethearts. Yeah.
America's Sweethearts.
Cheerleaders for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, and D made an excellent point the other day where he said this is the Argos A team's blueprint.
Yeah, this is, and not even just the Argos A team, because I sent him the article and I was like, send this to the dancers you know and tell them to fight the power. That was and then too, I think, if I'm not mistaken, from the article when I read it, I think the America's Sweethearts are probably the best paid cheerleading squad in the NFL. I don't think other NFL teams,
like pre or post.
I think pre and post.
You know what I'm curious
definitely
about?
post.
You know what I'm curious about? Because the Argos A team, they're the only cheerleaders I think that get paid in the CFL.
True.
I wonder if that's similar in the NFL. I don't think like does every cheerleader from every team get paid? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. Some
So-
teams pay even less. The Bengals at about $285 an hour.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. They said their earnings surpassed average for other NFL squads, landing the DCC on the highest end of that pay scale.
Wow.
So, like, yeah, they were already the best paid.
And then they got a 400%
And then,
jump.
because, like, you know, they're the Dallas Cowboys. This is probably the most valuable franchise in all of North American sports. So, you know, like, all of this to say, shout out to, you know, kind of like the way contracts and sports happen. Shout out to them for creating the market, you know, being that first through the door. And, hey, man, I'm all about the cheerleaders and all women getting, like, you know, fair pay. So,
Our football teams are just like substantially larger than basketball teams in terms of value.
50. Well, the football team is 53 players.
Fair.
And
Just more assets.
Yeah, and more assets. And also football, like, consistently, I think out of the 100 best rated TV shows on North American TV, football usually has about 70.
I think it's significantly
But
more
doesn't-
popular than basketball.
Like, not even close.
Globally?
Like,
no, just
no,
America.
not in
We're
America.
just talking about America.
And I'm talking about the money, which is from TV ratings. Like, football is usually like 70% of the best rated TV shows for a year.
Sorry,
So-
another like sport question. Are there any American teams that are owned by foreign investors?
No.
Like they're owned by
For
within-
NFL?
NFL and like NBA and like
Okay, yeah. For NBA, I believe no. I can't be sure for the NBA actually.
but NFL
Do you know
for
what?
sure,
I
no?
don't think so. I don't. We can check that. For NFL, there was only one guy, Shahid Khan, owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's the first non-American born.
Bills
yeah.
are owned by South Koreans.
Yeah, so the Bills, the Pagula family. Again, these are Americans, but they're foreign born. So yeah, the Jacksonville Jaguars was the biggest one because it was pretty recent. And then the Pagula, I think she married into the family, I think. And then yeah, so it's foreign born, but they have to be American. Ooh, yes, the Brooklyn Nets is owned by your guy. VP of Alibaba, I believe, or Tencent, one of the two, Joe Tsai. Yeah, so
85%.
yeah. He bought it from. Funny enough, he bought it from a Russian oligarch, if I remember correctly.
Probably the only
So-
way for someone
alrighty.
like him to get a hold of something like that. But
Yeah,
All right. Let's move on. I'm gonna skip a couple of these. I'm gonna keep like some local stuff here. I wanted to mention this because of our conversation about the drug bust in BC and in Hamilton,
Yeah.
and now there's been another one in Peel. $50 million
so that's your
cocaine
end.
bust. That is my end. Well, it's Brampton specifically.
I walked him into that one.
Yeah, you did walk me into that one specifically. Peel police bust trucks carrying roughly $50 million worth of cocaine into the GTA.
trucks.
Whose
arrests.
trucking company was that?
Do
they say?
I don't think they say. No.
Okay.
They
Huge
seized
crime in
them.
trucking, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
huge.
Huge.
That's why I'm
huge.
curious to see who that is.
They arrested 9 people.
That's finally they're
They
arresting
arrested
people.
9 people.
Keep the trend going.
So in total, Peel Police seized 479 kilograms of bricked cocaine that's connected to the investigation. That alone is worth $47.9 million. And then they seized 2 semi-automatic firearms. 9 men have been arrested from Ontario in connection with the case and face 35 criminal charges.
Can we look into if the 9 men were granted bail? Because I've heard recently there's been like Rob Ford has been huge on this like bail bond issue because there's been like several major arrests made and they got bond immediately and they just got out.
Yeah, so the article says police said there was a bail hearing for it, and Davin just looked it up, and yeah, 6 of the 9 men were posted bail.
See, like.
I wonder how does it say how much the bail was, like how much they had to pay in bail?
It's very high, but like keep in mind these are criminal organizations.
Wait. So you said Rob Ford is encouraging people to get bail?
No, he's been really big on bail reform.
Oh.
Because there's been so many high-profile cases recently where like these huge like arrests were made for like criminal groups and like Guelph and like all these different things, and then like you hear like 3 days later like 9 out of 10 members were like left like allowed to leave on bail.
And those niggas are flying out, going back
dude,
to,
like they're like going back to like God knows where.
Yeah.
Like it's
we saying going back to, but like traveling to God
no,
knows
but like
where.
unironically,
You almost got
like,
Don Cherry. You almost Don Cherry'd yourself, bro.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
unironically though they do.
Yeah.
Like that's a playbook.
Hey,
Remember
man.
we were talking about.
Let's not make assumptions, but yes, that is a playbook.
No, I'm talking about like my people. Like if my
okay.
like my
All right,
people
there
who
we
come
go.
here and do like money laundering and things like that. Like if they get caught,
Okay.
they just go back. They go
Yeah.
back to China after
Yeah.
they get out. On bail.
Get bail and go back. I mean, it's a smart play. Like,
It's a
you know?
smart play. It's just a safeguard, I guess. You know what I mean? Like you do have another place that you can go to if you get kicked out.
Yeah,
And then they
Yeah.
basically just like never like you're never allowed to come
Yeah, never allowed to
anywhere.
come back
like,
in, yeah.
Never go to North America. Never go to Europe. Like you know what I mean? Just stay in Asia for the rest of your life.
You know, it's kind of
It's not a
crazy
bad
like how
life.
it's kind of crazy how strict Canada is about letting criminals into the country. I saw this one video, you know, those stupid videos online where these guys are like hitting on chicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they try and chat with them or whatever. They're like, hey, you look really beautiful. It's like the same pickup line every time, and you know they're wearing those like
The
glasses, yeah, the Ray-Bans with the camera in it.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, you know, the girl getting hit on probably sees that you have a camera on your face. I don't know. Anyways, this one dude was talking to these 2 girls from Canada, and he's like, oh yeah, I can't go to Canada. They were like, why? He's like, well, because you guys don't have misdemeanors up there. I have a misdemeanor, and I was automatically declared a felon. And they
Really?
didn't let me into the country. So if you have a misdemeanor, apparently you can't come into Canada.
I've heard that
Oh,
about basketball
outside
players.
of,
Because we don't have misdemeanor.
Really?
We don't have a category of crime called a misdemeanor in Canada.
Oh, wow.
That was apparently
really?
that.
Oh.
Unless I don't know, I could be completely wrong about this, but that was the video that I saw.
Wait,
so
so
I'm
doesn't that-
either spreading misinformation or I'm educating
This
somebody.
might explain why a lot of artists don't come in.
Yeah, like that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like artists. I've heard basketball players that have gotten charged before.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like, yeah, they can't play away games in Toronto. KCP, I believe, was the Contavious Caldwell Pope. I believe he was like when he played for the Lakers and stuff. I think that was the story. But yeah.
So we are
Interesting.
equivalent to a misdemeanor. It's called a summary conviction for like less serious offenses. But I guess like from a foreign body, they don't recognize the differences. They don't have like the equivalence is not officially recognized.
Yeah,
That's my
I
understanding.
mean, you can be indicted for a misdemeanor, and so they said indictable offense, so it'd probably just be a automatic felony, no?
Hey, it does look like
Yeah, it would be because if you're indicted for a misdemeanor, the Canadian border agent looks at it and sees indicted, and they're like, okay,
There we
well,
go.
you're a
Yeah.
felon.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So
Interesting.
yeah.
I would have never known.
It does seem like crime, at least organized crime, being caught is on the rise in Ontario. And before you say the next topic, the last thing I'll say is, as someone who visited Hamilton for the first time last weekend, yeah, it's pretty rough out there. It's pretty rough out there. First of all,
Hey, make Hamilton great again.
yeah, just two statements about Hamilton.
You can do more. I actually have questions for you because do we talk about Hamilton on the last
No,
episode?
we didn't.
Okay, maybe
We
this is
didn't,
actually
yeah.
a good
Oh,
little.
we
like-
talked about Hamilton.
Did we not?
Yeah,
No,
we
we
did.
didn't.
When there was a drug bust in Hamilton, and
No,
then we
not-
talked
not
about
like
it.
No,
Okay.
because that was before he was going. We said, hey, come back with insights.
Oh.
Tell the world how good Hamilton is. I
yeah.
want to know if that came to fruition. So just, yeah, go for
It
it.
sounded like a fun trip, though.
Yeah, it was so
wow.
first of all, worst roads I've ever driven on.
Okay.
Outside of like straight up, I'm not exaggerating when I say this. Like as bad as rural China or rural Vietnam Like we're talking about
Really?
roads that feel like actual dirt roads, or the potholes were there in a way that made it worse. Because like at least on a dirt path, like sure, like super bumpy, but you're not gonna get like drops of like a few inches.
Do you remember that the dirt road I mistakenly drove on when we were going
went
to
to the
the
cottage.
cottage
Yeah.
for New Year's? Compare it to that.
Almost exactly like that, but like you just get that throughout the entire city.
That's awful.
The entire fucking city. There was like, we literally counted one patch, like as we were driving, like throughout the weekend, we were like, oh my God, like it's silence. There's no like, like it was, so roads terrible. The most police presence I've ever seen in my life. You couldn't go to a plaza without a ambulance, a police, or a fire truck with their sirens on. Like straight up, never seen that before in my life. And then I was just telling Arya, one of the weirdest like club kind of encounters with this strange guy I've ever had. This older gentleman.
Luke was harassed.
Yeah.
Or-
It was interesting. He was by a lonely white man.
He wasn't lonely. Apparently, he had a kid.
He wasn't lonely.
Apparently, he had a kid, and he was there with
He
the
had
He
friends.
wasn't
No, no.
alone. He was
friend-
lonely.
Not only did he have a kid, he had friends and everything. They just weren't there.
Yeah, of course. One of those.
One of those ones.
The TLDR of the story was we went to a club and we had a booth, and this guy like tries to join our booth. We're like, no. He picks our weakest link, who's like, I guess, nice. This person says yes. So he sits down for like a minute. And after that, it was fucking over. This guy just like kept hovering, kept like being around us, like rubbing one of our friends. He said he was there with a group. Afterwards, we found out apparently he had like a kid and a wife. Anyway, very strange vibes. One of the things he said is he used to run the city and he used to go home with 2 lesbians every night. Very specific brag. I've never
Happy
heard that
Pride.
in my life.
Yeah. When was the parade? Yesterday?
Yeah, it was
today and yesterday,
today and yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. Happy
Beautiful.
Pride to all of our gay friends,
Let's go.
gay and lesbian friends, and everybody else.
Yeah.
Hamilton, very
No,
interesting.
Hamilton
city.
is incredible, and it's one of those uniquely Canadian spots.
How would you describe Hamilton? Because obviously I went like as an adult, but like you went to school there, right? Like
When I went to school there, it wasn't that. So, like I mentioned, it's 2 different cities. Like,
Sorry, no, I'm just laughing because like when you went to school there, it just sounds like such an insult, like such an accusation. It's like,
No,
well,
no.
you went to school there, so why don't you tell me what it's really like?
I went to school there 10 years ago. It's been 10 years. It's been 10 years, which is insane. I'm old. Fuck. Anyways, yeah, I'm not allowed
Like
to
some
do that.
43-year-old listening to this episode right now is like, give me a break, dude.
Dude, I shouldn't be able to say. I shouldn't be able to say I went to school 10 years ago somewhere.
Just wait till you say I went to school 30 years ago.
Kill me now. I was gonna say, so yeah, like I was gonna say, like 2 parts of the city. There's like the mountain and like the more suburban places where like lots of greenery, like like beautiful places. Like people have beautiful homes, and then there was downtown, and downtown's always been the issue. You know what I mean? And like and like downtown isn't just down. Like where Luke went was Hess Village.
Yeah,
That's like where like the little party area is, and then at the edge of downtown there's like Steel Town. You know what I mean? Which is where like all of that, and it's just like when I was there, like my school was downtown, but like because I went to boarding school, my fucking hostel was on the mountain, and so we get like a school bus would take us like downtown. Like don't get me wrong, I missed the school bus sometimes. I take a cab, or I take depends on like what was going on that day, or I just take the bus. So yeah, it's like we'd go in and. Yeah, we'd stay downtown like kids, roam around a little bit before like going back up. But like, yeah, like it wasn't like there was a lot to do. There was never a lot to do, and
definitely.
like obviously we couldn't go to clubs where like kids like house parties was the thing. But I imagine that's like for most kids in high school. So
Also,
Yeah.
like this is such a side tangent, but this was the first time a DJ did not want a tip from me. There was this DJ there, and like Sharif was trying to get him to play the song. The guy finally plays the song, and I was like, "Hey, thank you for playing that song. Can I give you a tip?" And he was like, he looked at me then and he was like, no.
Okay,
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I've never once tipped a DJ.
I've never thought about
like
that.
I've never
before.
even thought about it. You saying that was
Yeah,
the
I was
first time
like-
I'd even
I was
been
like, wait,
introduced to the
what?
concept.
You only tip them if you want them to play like a specific song. Like
You're
you just tip
Mr.
them
Money
again.
Bags over here.
I-
This nigga's tipping DJs.
I
You
just-
tipped DJs before?
I just like I like ask really
also-
nicely.
that what?
I just ask really
Yeah, I
nicely.
know,
was like,
right?
hey, like, great set, like any chance you get. And I only do that at weddings, really. To be honest, that's the only place I feel comfortable.
This is fucking Luke.
My
Just
Suggesting
thoughts
a
on
song.
that, two different types of patrons.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luke's like, yeah, I got a water cash. You want to play my song?
I appreciate Luke.
I can imagine you appreciate Luke.
I'm sure you do.
I will say this.
I would appreciate Luke as well.
I will say this. No other DJ has not appreciated me besides this guy. So
No doubt it's like worth appreciation. I just like, I don't know. I never thought about, like, it's just the DJ specifically.
Wait,
Like, I never thought about tipping the DJ.
I got an important question.
Now I got to think of it.
song?
Thanks, Luke.
What was the note?
what was the song?
What was the note?
What do you mean? What was the note?
The cash note.
Oh, it was $10.
Dude, come on. At least it's 20. What are we doing?
Oh, I was gonna say 5. The song is worth 5. It's a 2-minute song.
Dude, at least
Next
it's 20.
concert, you're tipping 20.
I don't tip DJs.
Well, now
That's
you're
why.
gonna.
Is that no? We have to go to a club. Each tip them a different dollar amount and see which one of our songs get played first.
See, D doesn't tip DJs, but apparently if he does, it's a 20 or it's a 20 minimum. That's the type of guy he is.
Yeah, this is why I don't tip.
You see, because what D is saying is, if he feels compelled enough to tip,
Yeah.
he wants the song bad enough that he's willing to drop 20
Yeah,
bucks on
there
it.
we go. There we
All
go.
right, Fair enough.
Yo, this is good. I'm learning. I'm like,
Yeah,
huh,
yeah, yeah.
okay. Oh yeah, and we're recording what June.
Oh yeah,
30th?
tomorrow's Canada Day.
There
So
we go.
yeah, before we go on to the rest of it, quick shout out, Happy Canada Day.
I don't think the rest of the world knows when Canada Day is.
Yeah, no, they just because ours is not like the U.S. where we just call it the day that it is.
The 4th of July.
The 4th of July. It's like, when's the 4th of July? Really? You know what I mean? The
is
U.S.
kinda
is turning
hilarious.
250 this year, actually. That's
Really?
250 years of independence. So.
How old is Canada turn? I remember when we were
One-
one.
we recently hit 150.
Oh, so-
158, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, I think
This year.
it's 2017 was when we turned 150.
Exactly.
So
158 this
2027 is when we'll turn 160.
Yeah. So 1867 was
Yeah.
the day. So
Yeah,
150.
look at
Me
that.
actually remembering something correctly.
Yeah.
So I want to resurface a video that D showed us in our group chat.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, D, I don't know how much of this video you remember. I'd like you to maybe like introduce the video because it was in your like native pigeon.
Yeah, it was shocking. It was actually jarring. Did you see the video, Luke?
No.
I put it in our group chat, but yeah.
We'll play this. Like Davin, I put the whole clip in
Yeah.
here for people to watch.
Not even begin to imagine how many women, wives, and girlfriends have messaged me since that video I made about hygiene. And I'm just there thinking, tell the men, tell the men to change their boxers every day. And me, I know they preach with you, I know they practice. So I'm just there thinking, this sounds very neat, very clean, but every day? You mean say e get some men where they change their boxers every day? New, I won't like now they change boxers every day. Oh, as neat as it sounds, it doesn't sound practical. First of all, as a person, I don't too like to dey wear boxers because anything that clogs my, I can't wear skinny jeans. I like fresh air going in and coming out. Now, I cannot tell you here that I change my boxers every day, maybe 3 times a week. But for me to know that it's time to change my boxers, I put my hand here. Now my hand there, when I put it in my nose, if me self cannot handle the smell, I know that it's time to change my boxers. But every day? It gets some men when they change boxers every day. I'm not neat, I'm just hygienic. If you know a man or there are men or you are a man that changes, please, I want to see you in the. Is this realistic?
But it's essentially a fucking full grown ass man. Sorry, I cursed way too much there.
We've been cursing this.
Yeah,
I just didn't bring it up
Dude,
this time
like
around.
YouTube will be fine.
One day one day it just won't be allowed. Don't worry.
I think
We're not there yet.
I think as a problem solver, you need to find an AI that just bleeps the MEL.
The AI is Aria.ai. Like, that's on his own end. That's the AI. That's your machine. You know those self-driving cars in San Francisco? It's just some dude with a remote controller, like in Indonesia.
Oh, dude, you be fine. All right, okay, all right. But the videos of a grown ass man who's like, do people really change their boxers every day?
Specifically complaining about a woman who like told him you should be changing it.
Sorry, what?
Yes, you heard me right.
Like in what context? Like was he saying it in like a podcast? Or
No.
like,
It was just like a video,
Like a social media clip.
like a
street
social
interview?
media. No. This is a man picking up his phone and is like, yo,
like straight up selfie.
yeah,
mode,
like self. Like, can you imagine a girl like was like, yo, I should change my boxers every day? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, who does that? And I was like, and like he was so like insulted and passionate and was like, what is going on here?
Oh,
Like,
wow.
and I was like, it made me like second guess myself. I felt gaslit a little bit, and I was like, and I texted the group, and you didn't see this. I feel like
We talked about this a little.
I said it to I response to me. Why don't you love me, Luke?
It's Twitter.
But I'm joking.
It's Twitter.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Twitter. It's
Yeah,
Twitter.
yeah,
It was on
Twitter.
Twitter.
Okay.
It was on Twitter.
And I'm like, Arya, like, you change your boxers every day, right? Because like that's no.
I looked at you. I was like, I think I have me. I'm not even exaggerating this. I think I have 30 pairs of underwear in my drawer.
That's what he said, and I was like, okay, good, because I was like, I change my underwear every day, and like maybe sometimes twice a day, depending on what's going on, and like that's normal. That's supposed to be normal. And the fact that someone was just so shook by that. Like, I was like, wait, I need to, because, like, I don't know. Like, I've never asked another guy, like, hey, how often are you changing your boxer? That's just, as dudes, that's just not something we talk about. We talk about a lot of dumb stuff, but we don't talk about that. So, yeah, thankfully, I had a friend in Aria that I could ask, and he was like, yo, we're good. And, yeah, I was like, no, he's crazy.
My first thought is, I wonder what his philosophy on socks is.
Oh, and he was also a Nigerian guy, by the way. So that I don't know if that helps, but yeah, it's not necessarily.
Do you think this guy's changing his socks every day?
Definitely not.
No,
If he's
what
not-
are you talking
I think the threshold is higher for underwear than it is for socks.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Lower. For
I'd
underwear
be like,
than it
I
is for
give
socks.
like depending on what goes on, like I still like subject my socks to a sniff test.
Yeah, like I'm less concerned about that because it's like it's on my feet, it's on my shoe. You know what I mean? But it's like my underwear. It's like I feel like that gets uncomfortable, man. Like you might get a whiff of something just by sitting down. You know what I mean? Like you gotta take care of that shit.
Dude, my biggest thing is like,
you gotta take care of it,
I
man.
don't think
my biggest thing is I'm not bringing dirty underwear into my bed, like into my sheets. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's also part of it. It's
like
a huge part of it.
I'm not tainting like it's very important for me for like, first of all, I've never met a single human being that doesn't change their underwear daily.
I mean,
Besides this guy, apparently.
how do you know I change
how
my
do you know?
underwear daily?
Like, do you ask
I've been
people
on
how
trips
often?
with most of the people. I guess I just assume that if they're going to go
Yeah.
shower, they're gonna put on a different.
That's
Right,
the
but not
thing.
everybody showers every day, right? So
even
keep that
then
in mind.
they go change. And
You
I
don't
just-
you
I
don't know
assume,
that.
You don't know.
You're assuming.
You don't know.
It's all an
Luke.
assumption.
Like, I'm just saying.
People
you
are
sounded
out-
a little
people
too
are out here
confident.
being nasty,
Right.
dirty, and you have no idea.
No, that sounded
First of
very,
all,
very confident.
I'll be like, dude, typical guy. Like I've been disgusting at parts of my life. Like I didn't know you're supposed to wash your sheets every 2 weeks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
that's some girl
But
shit.
it's
That's
like-
some shit women made up. Joking.
Just like that same guy is like the boxer thing is some shit that women made up. Bro.
Yo, my girlfriend is like, yo, change your sheets every week. I'm like, oh my god.
Every week?
Every
Every
week.
week is
She's-
crazy.
Don't get me
Every
wrong.
week is
She's fantastic, and I love.
Okay, yeah,
I
sorry.
love staying in her
She's
bed.
not crazy.
She does it.
She does that?
Yo, and I
okay.
kid you, she uses only white sheets, and I love staying at her house and on her bed because it's always clean. So I get it, but I'm not gonna do that.
You like the result, you don't like the effort.
Yeah. Anyways, that's besides the point. That's why I had personal thoughts about that. Some shit girls made up. But yeah, no, male hygiene, eh?
Yeah, well,
Just a tough
thanks.
I don't think that's hygiene.
good.
That's
Well,
called being a human being. I think.
Again with the assumptions, Luke.
it is most definitely a hygiene thing, and this is why I brought it up because I wanted to talk about
God.
male hygiene.
Yeah.
Right, because
so
I
funny.
feel like a lot of the hygiene, like okay, and Luke, you're the marketing guy, right? Like you would know this
What
best.
does that have to do with anything?
No, because I'm
we'll
thinking like think about the way hygiene is presented in the world, in society, in media, and everything like that. Would you agree or disagree that it generally favors like the woman's perspective on hygiene?
Yeah, you focus on like
Women are
smelling
considered-
good,
yeah.
and, like having smooth skin, and
Yeah,
like all that shit.
You know, they're considered the cleaner gender.
Yeah.
You know, generally.
No, you're
Am
right.
I wrong for
No,
thinking that?
you're right. Some bad thoughts came into my head that I can't share on the podcast, but I'll
Yeah, like any guy out there like knows like this isn't necessarily true in every case, right? Like we've all had experiences, okay, and we're not here to judge up those experiences, but
Oh, that's where you were going. Okay.
no, yeah, we're not here to judge up those experiences, but I would like to, maybe show the world in our circle what it looks like to take care of yourself as a man.
Even when you think about like the advertising for male hygiene products, it's like the adjectives and the words they use are not even like they don't even feel clean. You know what I mean? Like you think about like
Wait.
I literally saw a deodorant that said musk on it.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that doesn't make sense to me. Musk is the absence of deodorant. I don't understand.
Picture perfect example, Dove and Axe, same company, right? Like
That is true.
You see Dove and it's always like it's the terms like silky or like very like smooth, clean, like fresh. Like those are the terms. Axe is like power. Like what does power have to do with fucking like
That's what I
hygiene?
want. That's what I
See,
want.
and this is why that happens, right? Because like men will look at it and be like, "I want it, I want it."
This guy's probably
I'm so dying. I'm dying
every
right now.
day I wear my boxers, the more power it accumulates. Like that's probably what this guy's fucking thinking, dude.
My guy. Okay, but like, first off, yes, we are very clean. I think we all shower daily. Wear clean clothes, so like we're good. But there is some kind of lingering social thing. This is where we come to, I don't know, like those social norms. I guess that's the word. Where I don't know, it's like being not that clean as a guy is seen as manly, or just being messy. Like it drives me crazy. Like I be having conversations. It's funny actually with my manager. Shout out to her. And like she's just like, oh, like I usually keep my work like stuff, like all my admin cleaning up today. And she was like, now is your room this clean? And like she kind of said it like, like you do this. I wonder if you do that as well. And I was like, yeah, like it usually is, like actually. And then she was like, but she was just assuming like shirts everywhere and this, and I'm like, yeah, like don't get me wrong, it gets messy sometimes, but I just feel like there's this like kind of social assumption and acceptance that men don't need to be as clean, or like it's more acceptable for them to be a little dirty and a little rugged and stuff. And I'm like, does that help? Does that hurt?
It definitely doesn't help. I think part of it too is like based on the traditional idea of what a man's job is, right? It's like you work with your hands, you work like in the mines or whatever, you come out dirty, you know what I mean? It's like you don't have time to shower because you're busy providing, blah, blah, blah. A lot of bullshit, to be honest, if you ask me. But it's like outdated. Like for some reason, there's like certain perceptions that are so outdated, but like just stick and linger in the back of people's minds in some like distant form of it.
Yeah, well, I think it lingers in a lot of people's minds, and I think some men, case in point, this video, trying to restore the feeling, trying to restore the feeling coming out of a mine, but just keeping the boxers on. You know what I mean? It's like fuck it. Like get some of this dick musk in your mouth. Get some I'm done.
I'm just like curious, like if this
Was Delapo's room clean?
Yeah.
Yes.
was your room clean?
Is my room clean?
Yeah.
I don't think it's the cleanest, but
No, it looks
for a
pretty
guy,
clean.
relatively, I would say.
Yeah, I
don't
think
it's the
I
cleanest.
think my room's usually clean. Like you stepped up, you lay your bed now all the time. Like
Yeah.
you lay your bed now all the time. Like yeah, I think-
Dopo's room is the cleanest, I would say.
For sure. For sure. Very minimalist.
I when I clean it really well.
Mm.
But like there's moments where I like, you know, for a week I'm like, oh shit, like I just have so much.
yeah,
to do.
like so that happens to me
Yeah.
sometimes. But yeah, like I don't have like a bunch of shit in my room, so it's like it's really easy to keep that clean. But it's like I feel like and my parents fucking programmed me like in a good or a bad way, but like I can't like I feel like for me to have like a good start to the day, I need to brush and I need to like clean my room, and then it's like okay, now I can go, like you get what I mean? I can go face the world. This is the kind of thing.
So
but yeah.
I'll ask you guys both this question, Davin, you too, if you want to answer, right? Because like everybody here, we've moved away from our parents, you know, where we came up, right? So we were obviously at a different, maybe not better, no, not worse, but like different cleaning standard than we are now. 'Cause now we do it ourselves, right? So what has changed in your personal hygiene from when you were like living at home under your parents' reign to like now when you have autonomy over your body?
I mean, honestly, like I think for me, like it was like just like
As a
upping
man
my-
specifically,
upping
I'm
my
asking
own-
as a man.
Yeah, it was more upping my own standard because when I was like at home, I already did all my own shit. Like I had to like do laundry and all that. But then when I moved out, my mom wasn't there to be like, "Yo, you got to do laundry." So like it's like when I like early on in university, I let that slip a bit because I was like my tolerance for grossness is obviously way higher than my mom. So even though I knew how to do this shit, I was just like, "Fuck it, I don't care. Like I won't do it." You know what I mean? So like it was.
So then
like,
you definitely wore boxers.
No, I
I'm joking.
never.
There might have been a period. Okay, wait. You're telling me there was no like even small period in there where like you ran out of underwear.
No, actually, that's the one thing. You guys know this about me. I am religious with my laundry.
You are.
You guys know about this with me.
You
I
do-
don't-
you
I
do
don't-
do
I'm
laundry
saying-
all the
not be
fucking time.
caught dead.
I'm saying in
Yeah,
that
but
period.
even when you were paying,
I'm saying in that period, that transition period between like that beginning of union that you said was a bit tough.
No,
Like,
no,
that
like,
part right there, you
I'll
never
tell
ran
you
out.
this,
Or would
that-
you just go to the store and buy another pack of 3
I'll-
while your laundry was going?
I'll tell you this. I'd go commando.
I know you've done that, haven't
No,
you?
what I would do is I would actually time my visits to home to get new like
Oh, this guy.
boxers and towels and detergent and shit like that.
Okay.
So like my trips home, this is why it was important for me to get a car early on in university so I could like actually haul this
This
shit
guy.
back because you couldn't do it on like the because I didn't even take GO train. I took Greyhounds.
Could you imagine just taking like a garbage bag full of like crusty underwear on the Via Rail with you on the Greyhound?
Oh, I definitely did that when I had my car. Like I would load like 3 laundry baskets. Just
Oh my God.
6-hour drive home like to do laundry.
Okay, this is not really doing well for the male hygiene
Sorry,
perception.
I'll say this. Like I think the actual thing was attention to detail thing. So it's like it was things like, you know, clipping your nails like frequently.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Maybe TMI, but like, you know, shaving in all aspects. You know what I mean? Like making sure that you're good. You're in a good place. I think I remember one time. I think again, shout out Yassine. This was a Yassine conversation. Yassine was like, think about the type of women you would want to be with. What would like the hygiene of the guy that she would want to be with look like? And that was not me at the time. So it was like, you know, the attention to the detail items, like trim the fingernails, like even after your fingers, you know, trimmed, like something like what's it called? Using the
cuticles.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing until like fucking
What?
So-
the sanding.
Oh no,
Oh,
sorry, that's
filing.
filing. That's
Filing.
filing. The cuticles, I'm talking about like that extra skin like between your nail and the rest of your finger. It's like
that-
I've learned in recent years like how to do that myself, and it's like it just looks nicer, you know. Before like nice events and things like that, I'll do that.
What is that?
Well, you've
I'm joking.
gone pedicures and manicures.
Yeah.
They do that for you.
Okay, well, yeah, I
Yeah.
wasn't cuticles. This guy, I love you though. This
Yeah,
guy.
I used to think they were called cubicles.
Oh gosh.
I think like you.
Did
guys
you know what a
both-
cuticle was? Okay, I guess I'm a dumbass. Well,
Yeah, like, you're just
Oh, my-
tripping me out here. I was like, you're the only one who didn't know what this was.
Did you know what a cuticle
No,
was?
I didn't.
Okay,
You
I
don't know what
that.
you don't know what a
Let's
cuticle
go.
is?
No,
We
like
have
now
a
we
name-
do.
We have a name for that in Chinese, and I always refer to it by its Chinese name. It's
What-
called
what's this one?
Yojiapi.
Huh?
Yojiapi.
Neo-Japanese.
Oh, yeah, same thing.
Alright.
So he knew what it was. He knew what it was.
He's the same
It's
thing.
actually not even Chinese. It's Shanghainese. Because my mom used to like. Anyway, doesn't matter. But I would say
attention to detail.
like small attention to detail things make go a long way. I think like genuinely, I'll say this for guys, like if you do like they say, you know, the 90-10 principle, like just paying 10% attention to your hygiene will get you so fucking far.
Yeah.
Cause like girls be doing crazy shit, bro. Like hours long, like facials and all this shit. Like, dude, you wash your face with CeraVe when you shower or once in the morning. You're good. You know
do
what I
that?
mean? Yeah.
Okay, you should start buying CeraVe too. I just be
This
paying
guy's
for
just
that
buying
shit.
all
I
of them.
just buy
No, I bought
CeraVe.
the yeah.
He's like, I bought them. I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
You're right. I was gonna say I bought the
Immediately,
I'm glad we all do it.
his focus went to his wallet. He's like, why am I paying for this? I
I'm
don't
like,
use it
we're
that much.
both using it.
I think you're making a good point here, though.
You're
like,
making a great point.
because I think a lot of, and this is just maybe the way it's advertised, but like, yeah, a lot of like female like hygiene is centered around like enhancement. You know what I mean? Whereas a lot of like male hygiene is centered just around like baseline necessity cleanliness.
Yeah. Just be
get
clean.
the crusties out of your ass. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh god.
That's so funny. It's like the women's like ascend to become a goddess, and then like the men is like stop being in the basement.
and that's fine, but like that's why it made sense when you said the you know, just pay 10%, because like really, like I think like as a man, yeah, you really just need to maintain a certain standard of cleanliness. I think, right? The enhancements, like you can do it, like there's absolutely no problem with that, right? But like society doesn't expect you to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you kind of have a cop out here, guys. You know, if you just want to put less effort in and be recognized for it still.
Ooh, go tip from Delapo when you take a shower. Because I was like, I remember I was asking you. I was
That
like,
was awesome. This is
Sorry, no, yeah.
not a
No,
great
this is
way to start, but
This is
okay.
like 100 thoughts went through my head, but I'm
like,
trying
what
to let
did
you
I
finish.
say
when
about
you
the
shower,
shower?
make sure you stroke.
Oh my god! It's derailed. I love it. I love it though.
So, well, I remember
Now I have to go and bleep this out.
No, that's not the actual thing. So like one time I was asking Delapo, I was like, "Oh, do you have a separate towel for your face?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "So what do you do then?" And then he was like, "Oh, I just let my face air dry."
Oh yeah, that's
And
true.
I was like, "Oh." And then I started doing that, and I was like,
Yeah.
"This is the way to do it. You don't actually need a separate face
Wait,
towel
but why
either."
don't you just go top down?
Because I'm not washing my towel after every.
That's what I was gonna say. Because when you go down, it goes down, and then next time you go top down,
You
you're
don't know
going
that.
bottom up.
Okay.
That's such a
Don't go
lie.
bottom up.
No, yeah, like it went down, right? So it touched your asshole, and now the next time, like when you use your towel.
Well, make sure that's the last part.
Okay, all right. It sounds like, tell me you're doing all this thought when you're.
Davin is absolutely correct. By the way, like
memorizing the side
when
that
you
touched.
when you're traveling and you have limited access to towels, that is the strategy you have to use. I just use 2 towels.
Yeah, I used to use two
I use 2 towels.
Yeah.
I have a specific towel like for here, and then my other towel for everything else. And even like the neck down towel, top down. Never start at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never start at the
Oh, I don't
bottom.
give a-
No, like-
if it's not my
It's
face, I don't
tainted.
give a
It's
fuck,
tainted.
dude.
Yeah.
I have a shower tip.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you come out of the shower, take your hands across your chest and just wipe it down. Just
Oh.
so much more water, just
Yep.
with your hands that come out.
Yeah.
Really?
Alternative to that, that's a little bit more fun to do. You can shake like a dog too.
I do.
Yeah.
I do do
I
that.
shake like a dog.
This is why there's fucking hair everywhere in the washroom. Don't
I
shake
finish
like a
showering and
fucking
I'm just
dog.
like-
Yeah.
Don't shake. Don't listen to them.
And you get the
Okay?
neck too, you know.
Don't shake like a dog.
Helicopter.
Exactly. Also, definitely use a loofah.
Yes.
Definitely use
Definitely
a
use a loofah.
I recently started using a loofah
Yeah.
because like I don't know, I'd scrub extra. It's just less effort. You know what I mean? Like I would just scrub extra hard with my hands, but it's like a loofah gets
Why?
90% of the job done with 10% of the effort.
Yeah. No. I was gonna say, what did I learn? Like, I think the biggest for me was like, fuck. Someone told me like I had like the bachelor starter pack in terms of sheets, which was like navy blue sheets, 1 pillow, like fucking jade sweat sheets, like
You had
every
red
2
sheets.
months.
You had red
Yeah,
bed sheets.
I had navy blue.
Don't ignore that piece of
No,
stuff.
I had navy blue and red, and like I alternated them, like you know what I mean, which was like just the most jarring thing ever, apparently. And like I remember, I think it might have been my girlfriend. She was like, "Man, like this is like the biggest red flag for every Like every girl's like, you go to a dude's house, he has navy blue sheets and one pillow. It's like, no, that man is not gonna be your boyfriend. He's gonna fuck.
That man's not gonna do laundry on Sundays.
That man may wear his boxers more than one day.
You know what I mean?
The last thing about hygiene I want to talk about, because we've given a lot of really good hygiene tips and it's been a very fun conversation. What are your thoughts now that you've had them for a while, Luke? Right? What are your thoughts on the bidet?
On the bidet?
Because I think that's a very underrated and crucial like hygiene piece, not just specific to men, but like it's just people don't use it in North America.
I'll be honest, I really loved it in the beginning. It's just like hard to make it a routine when you're not used to using it all the time. Genuinely. Like I did like it, but I think it's just like I don't remember to use it every time, genuinely, just because like I didn't grow up with it. But I like it. Like it's nice.
It's a habit thing, it's a use thing.
Dude, man, oh my gosh.
Changed my life.
Like now when I go to other washrooms, because like I have a whole system now. It's a 3-step system now. Okay, so
we don't
it's
have to go through.
We don't need
for the
to.
guests.
We don't need
you don't
to.
have the.
But get wipes as dudes, okay? Dudes need wipes too. But yeah, like now, especially because most places only have like a 1-step system. I'm just like, what is this fucking pagan bullshit? Like, I need the luxury of my bath.
That one step is just some dry ass toilet paper.
Yeah, dude. It's like, what? My tissue is way too fucking sensitive for this nonsense. Okay.
I will say, breaking in a bidet though is really uncomfortable experience because they some of them have pretty high pressure nozzles.
Okay, yeah.
And it is both a culture shock and a real shock. Actually. So
I was gonna say in that case, isn't it breaking in your asshole? Because the bidet pressure does not change. You know what I mean? You're just getting used to it.
there's one that like my dad has.
We're gonna skip that.
My dad has one that has different temperatures, so you can get
that's
hot
nice.
water as well as cold water.
Nice.
Hot water's not as nice as you guys think it is.
No, I wouldn't think.
Hot,
Like,
like
you want warm.
You want warm,
Yeah.
right?
Like that's what I'm.
But like you can't finish with warm. First of all, for anybody who doesn't know, like the heat like traps like vapors which hold scent. Right? So it's like you don't want like hot, but yeah, because sometimes it's too cold. Sometimes you just need a little bit in the middle, but then you always got to finish it off with cold.
Yeah.
That's my bidet.
Get a
strategy.
bidet.
Get a bidet.
Get flushable wipes, man. Like you guys see, like that refill is gonna just keep coming because it's changed my life.
I'm not gonna
man.
lie, I don't think I've ever used that once.
I know you haven't. He has. Because other people do because the wipes be going. I'm like, yeah, enjoy the luxury. That one I don't mind paying for.
I think
I'm
it
like,
might be one of the girlfriends because I barely use them.
Oh, okay. Shut up. Of course, the girls know what quality looks like. But yeah, it's like get the. You guys try the flushable
I
wipes,
like
man.
them. No, I like them. They're just
man.
few and far between for me. That's it.
Oh yeah. Oh,
But
Zero complaints about them for sure.
yeah.
yeah, well, I was gonna say one thing because I asked you guys the question like what changed
Yeah,
like,
what
when you
about
moved
you?
out. For me, when I moved out, I started growing a beard. Right?
What, you didn't
And
have a beard when you lived at home?
I had like a chin patch goatee, which is like significantly easier
Wait.
throughout high school.
What
This is
are
I'm
you-
talking
okay.
first year.
High
uni.
school.
Okay, you're talking uni. Okay,
when
I
I
was about
first
to be
moved
like,
out.
what are you talking about?
Yeah, because like I moved out. We all moved out in uni. We lived on our own in uni, right? We had to take care of ourselves while we were there. So yeah, it was like I started growing on my beard, and yeah, I didn't know or wasn't given forewarning as to like how demanding taking care of like a long beard is. And I told myself that year I was gonna grow out my beard and do it for a year without trimming it, without shaving it, and it was pretty brutal, man. Like, first of all, I didn't know beard druff is a thing. Beard
wow.
dandruff. Like your skin
Me
underneath
and
your
Luke Gavin all just
there's
looked at
nobody
ourselves
with
and
facial hair.
then
That's news to
we
us.
were all confused.
We're talking about like male hygiene and like facial hair was not mentioned once
Yeah,
throughout all of
it
this.
was just baby-faced assassins.
Yeah, well.
Absolutely. I
There
don't.
you go.
I shave like once every 3 weeks.
Anyways, all to say, for those of you guys out there with beards, yeah, take care of it. Like mine got so long, mine got like this long, but I remember it was just like
Taliban.
rough and scruffy. Yes, minus the inherent racist tones.
Hey,
Hey,
if the shoe fits.
all right. I'm not gonna say what I actually wanted to say to that. I'm not gonna say that. I won't.
Oh, jeez.
I'll tell you after that because
Okay,
it's
there
funny.
we go.
It's really funny. Anyways, yeah. Use beard wash. Beard wash changed my life, and like a beard butter. So you
Is that like shampoo in your hair? How often do you do bird?
Yeah, you
beard
guys
wash?
can see the bottle I have in the bathroom. I have a bottle of it.
Look
Yeah.
at that, man. There's so much shit in there. We have space to like put products, and then there's just products everywhere, like filled there, and then more, which is like good. So I just don't know.
I think also like oral hygiene, like
Ooh.
important to floss.
No, you're great with that.
very
Like,
important to
you-
floss. Very important to like
twice.
brush twice a day. Like if you're going out, brush your teeth.
Yep.
I actually like honestly, even as someone who religiously brushed my teeth, I didn't used to do that. I think that started once I moved in with you guys, because you guys would be like, we'd be getting ready to go out, you guys would be brushing your teeth. I'm like, huh, that is probably a good thing to do.
Yeah, I mean,
I do
it's
it out of
just-
paranoia. I don't really do it to
Yeah,
like be clean.
That's
I'm
what I
just
was gonna
like,
say. I just do it because I'm like, my mouth stinks. Like even
Yeah.
now, I'm like conscious when I eat lunch at work and stuff. I'm like, fuck, I gotta be careful
Yeah.
because Anyways,
don't have
that's
a
a
toothbrush
person.
with me
Yeah,
at work.
It's true. Like nowadays, when like I start a new job, I'll literally buy like one of those like 8 packs of mints, and I'll just keep it in my desk.
yeah,
That's so
good.
smart. I probably should, just put a bag of mints in my
Well,
bag.
I wanna end off on asking you guys a question.
Okay.
Because we're talking about hygiene, how important it is, like especially when you're gonna go live on your own or something like that. You have to prepare for the real world. So and don't say hygiene for this one, right? Because we already talked about it. But like, if you had to choose one mandatory course that every 18-year-old in Canada had to take in order to move on with the rest of their life, what would you make that mandatory course be?
Okay, this is a very niche one. Just
Feel free to answer it.
General 18-year-old, right?
Yeah, like every single 18-year-old.
I think the course would be like basically the whole course curriculum is you have to try and make $1,000 by not working a job. So you have a year to do it. You can actually like just not go to class and just do it, or you can come to class and you can like learn entrepreneurship material, all this stuff. All this to say, like it wouldn't be like a traditional class; it'd just be like work sessions. It might be like an advisor that you go talk to about your ideas, then they help flesh them out. But I think like, we always like on this podcast, we've talked about brain drain. We've talked about like talent leaving, blah, 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 blah. Like, I think the root of it is if you teach people before they leave and go into the real world that they can make money using their own ideas and like by their own merits instead of having to work for it. I don't know if that will create a different society. I think it does. That's my hypothesis.
Do you feel like it would have helped you out in a big way, like in specific scenarios?
Absolutely. Like I think I probably would have, if I did end up like still working, I probably would have found this career path a lot faster, because I think like I would have and like I think the other thing too is like when I look at my own professional progression, the biggest jump always happened when I took full ownership over something. So like the whole thing of like taking ownership in basically accomplishing the thing that like is key for survival, which is just to make income. I think like if you can leave that course feeling like you can do that, I feel like it puts a self-confidence in someone that will allow them to be successful later.
And would you just make it like a pass or fail? Like you made the $1,000 or you didn't, or would you grade them as well?
I think if you make any money or like you have like some inkling, you judge it off the idea. But like if you make $1,000, I think you get an A+. You know what I mean? If you don't get $1,000,
so you get an A for like reaching that target objective, but you get a different letter grade for any amount of money. Like basically like a failing grade is making 0, but like anything from like a D to an A is anywhere between like $1 to $1,000.
I'd say it's like
or
if
above.
you make $1,000, we evaluate to make sure that you like actually did this, by yourself within reasonable means, all that stuff. Like you don't just get your parents to donate like $1,000 or whatever. But if you don't make $1,000, then I think it's like, okay, we look at like your logic behind your plan and everything, and we can still judge it. My point is no one should fail this course. Like, you know what I mean? You can make $0, but as long as you have like logic in your plan, I think you can still pass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone should fail this course.
It sounds like one of these new age courses when everyone passes.
There has to. What's the path to
Like,
failure? I
Jesus
want to know the
Christ,
path
yeah,
to
like,
failure
come
in
on,
this
man.
class. Because I feel like it should be like
Asian ancestors
it's supposed to
wouldn't be
prepare
proud.
people, right? Like you're
Your white
supposed to
ones would.
pass this in order to move forward.
In order to move forward?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I think like that stuff is inherently unproductive.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right,
That's it.
I can go. Experiential learning as well. but mine would be put a bunch of kids in like a building for 6 months, give them like 10 grand, like kind of like a hostel, boarding school, whatever.
Oh man, a lot of people are gonna die.
Just wait, just listen.
This is
Listen
about
to
to go Lord of the Flies. real quick.
Okay, so this is the class. And then you give them, like, let's say it's 3WG. We give them 10,000 3WG bucks.
Okay.
And 3WG bucks can only be used to pay rent, pay hydro, like pay for trash, pay for all of that. And like they're supposed to, so the money, the 10,000 is more than enough to cover all like their living expenses for the year. And like, don't get me wrong, like they're going to class, they're going to school. Like the course or the aim of the course is to make sure that they pay their bills and they pay it on time, like from the money that they, like, you know, were given at the start of the semester. Like if they miss a payment, they'll get a letter the same way it happens in the real world. And like, you know, they're not going to get kicked out unless they miss 6 months, but their grades are like, how many payments did you miss? Which payments, like, do you get what I mean? If you don't miss every payment goes on time, then you pass with an A+ for every payment that you miss or anything like that, then, you know, those are points that are taken
There
off.
should be like red herring assignments where like there's like a scam and it gets sent out to all the kids.
Yes.
And then some people take the bait. or,
Yes. Like,
there should just be options where like people like have to spend their disposable or want to spend their disposable income.
exactly.
And would the deliverables also be like setting up all of these accounts, like you know how you set up your hydro account?
Yeah,
have
you
to, like,
set it.
like you have to log in. You
All
have
we're
to get the
doing is
notifications.
giving you the money and telling you all the bills that you have to pay. You have to set everything up by yourself, and that's the course. And like the haven't said, it's because it's gonna be in like a boarding school and a campus. Is like you can spend those bucks on, like, you know, going to like a store and stuff. Like you can spend that money, but like I didn't want it to be real money because then you'll go out of hand. But yeah, like the goal here is responsibility and like just tracking for 6 months. How can you keep up with these bills? How can you maintain that? How are you accountable for your money? How are you planning all of that? And yeah,
It's like
that's
a simulation-based cumulative project.
Yeah.
6 months, like one semester, one course.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Intopia. Well, we did like this simulation-based cumulative project in uni. Kind of like that.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. And like you can keep doing school and whatever. Like that's just kind of it just runs on the side and
Interesting.
And then,
So yeah, like
you can absolutely pass and fail.
So yeah,
But,
so
yeah.
a failure would be, I guess, just like missing all your payments.
Well,
or
not
like
all.
missing majority of payments.
Yeah, like I think
going
there'll
broke.
be a threshold where if you miss more than like if you make maybe like 6 late payments or you miss like 3
Or you
payments,
earn a final notice, maybe.
Yeah, or you
know
get
what I mean?
like we'll work on the thresholds, but yeah, we'll figure that out. But yeah, that would be my one course. Sorry.
Personally, I would say, just very shortly, different from what you guys are thinking, because I would have probably said those things as well. But just something about like learning about the world and everybody's cultures. I think that being mandatory could give us all an understanding to who we all are.
Yeah.
And without
true.
a certain kind of bias to it.
I think that's like
It's
an excellent
incredible.
suggestion. One of my best, like, favorite courses that I took throughout high school was like an international management course where we got to like firsthand see like different cultures. We even did like an international food event where everybody brought their own stuff and everything. It was very useful.
What about you? What course?
Yeah, like I didn't think of anything too like, you know, heavily structured as you guys did. Like I think those are excellent ideas. I was simply gonna say like a day-to-day finance is a big part of it, but like yeah, day-to-day finance and like taking care of business items, like paying taxes. Right? Like paying taxes. I want an entire course on like taxes.
Sure.
Like, you know, just like a 1 semester course about like, hey, here are all the different types of taxes. Here are all the different types of forms. Here are all the different scenarios in which you use these forms and that form. If you know how to like hack taxes, you can put like at least an extra 10 grand a year in your pocket.
Absolutely.
Which is like a huge accelerator, I think, in early stages of life. You know, when you're not making a lot, you're paying a lot of taxes. You know, getting that back makes a huge difference. And you can go on a trip, you can invest it, you can, you know, enjoy these quality of life things.
Yep.
I think it makes a huge difference in the first 10 years of your life after high school ends, if you know how to do taxes or like at least personal finance to a respectable level, which is related to what D said, is just not structured the same, I would say.
No.
So I don't want to stay on this too long, but I guess just to quickly open up the debate here. would you guys like to see these like government mandated, like school based, or like, rite of passage type, take it as you go?
I think if it starts with school, like that's totally. I don't expect it to start with government, but I'd hope it ends with government. But yeah, like because my hypothesis, and just needs to test it. I just feel like there'll be a difference. The kids that run through those, and like obviously kids that don't. Like I think so. Like I would say like. Yeah, the schools that offer that would probably be some of the best schools in the country, and that's how it'll start. And then hopefully it becomes a public school standard.
So you'd like to see a government mandated at some point?
Yes.
Okay.
It does become like a much more complicated topic because it's like, for example, like I don't know the stat behind this, but like I think this is like a generally understood thing. Like you don't feel the benefits, like you don't feel 50% of the benefit in society if 50% of the people are like, let's say, have a better piece of information. It's actually much less. You know what I mean? Because the other side is more resentful, or the actions that they take like disproportionately moves things in the other way. So like, for example, when we talk about financial literacy, right? It's like, yeah, like the issue is like people are not financially literate, but it's like, what is the bigger issue? Is it that like, a significant amount of people are actually doing okay, and then other people are just like literally getting into like tens of hundreds of thousands of credit card bills, right? It's like, well, the people who are not doing that are probably benefiting society, let's say like by a margin of 3%. But the other people are like maybe negatively impacting society by like 10%. So I think, I don't know, it's tough to say. Like, for example, in D's program, I think that's something that should roll out across the entire country, right? Because I think like everyone would benefit from that. But for me, like I think like mine could be at a private school because those students could just like be better entrepreneurs. And that would like trickle into society if you just had great companies, you know what I mean? Like without like needing everyone to be.
Not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur.
Exactly, right? Like just some people being entrepreneurs, I think is a benefit. But like in D's case, like I think most people would have to have that skill for it to be like more beneficial. Not that it's not beneficial for anyone.
No,
to
I know
you
what you
kind of
mean.
get what I'm saying?
For like societal impact kind of
Yeah,
thing.
like that has to be government mandated. This maybe doesn't have to be government mandated.
If I were to pick a mandatory course that I think every 18-year-old should, 100%, I think it should be government mandated, but it can't be like anything that's like mandated across like for everybody it can't be overly complicated to execute and to evaluate and to do overall, right? It needs to be standardized to a certain level. Well, that kind of brings us to the end. I want to take the last 30 seconds or so just to shout out some cool things that are happening in and around the city. We're gonna do these every week, I guess. July 4th to 27th, the entire month, is the Beaches Jazz Festival. So there's a variety of different jazz events happening in and around the city, usually like on that like East End like beaches area. We'll link the website, you guys can go check it out.
We went last year. That was Caruza.
We went last year.
The Caruza event was part of the Toronto Jazz Festival.
That's right. It was. July 4th to 6th is the Taste of the Middle East at Sankofa Square.
Sankofa, yeah.
Oh,
It's Sankofa?
Yeah,
okay.
That's the new Young Dundas Square, right?
it is.
Okay, yeah, great. Middle Eastern food, Arab culture, music, dance, everything.
Nathan Phillips Square.
Is that Nathan Phillips Square?
That's what it says on the site.
Okay.
They have
there was something else I saw that Sankofa Square.
It is whatever. Both.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Davin's right. It is Nathan Phillips Square, this one, actually. There was another one I saw.
Okay.
That was at Sankofa.
Okay.
July 11th to 13th, the Chevrolet Grand Prix is coming to Bowmanville. It's literally just like a race for like
Pigs?
Chevy builds.
Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, what?
Never mind.
Yeah, for Chevy builds. I just figured since we've been talking about racing in the house a lot, I would shout that one out.
That's pretty cool.
All the way out in Bowmanville. It's not very close, and then July 11th to 13th. This one's mainly for D. Mississauga Rib Fest.
Oh,
Yeah, Rib Fest is happening at Aaron Mills Town Center.
Oh.
July 11th to 13th.
will you drive me?
I might be in Austin, but no,
Luke, will
that'll
you
be
drive me?
the day
Possibly.
before.
It's just
Okay.
a $2 entry fee.
Yeah. Well, I just need someone to drive me.
He's
Yeah, just take the train, or sorry, take the bus.
I own your car.
And with that, that's the end of the episode. Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. Why don't you tell us what you would like every 18-year-old to accomplish before they go on to the rest of the world, and if you feel like it should be mandatory or not.
I think every 18-year-old should gather in a group of 100 and kill a gorilla
A gorilla, you said, right?
with their bare hands.
Okay.
Sorry, I misheard it.
I misheard that
misheard
too.
it really
I
badly.
was
I
like,
needed to
whoa.
clarify that.
What did it sound?
You
like?
slurred the word a little bit, and it sounded like girl.
Yeah, I heard girl too. Jeez.
Just for anybody listening,
Whoa.
like we all paused. Right
Totally, it did not land.
This is-
Considering the mispronunciation.
Enunciation is so important.
Dude, let's just cut this, please.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, before we make any more fools, we only have so many feet to put in our mouth. Take it easy, and until next time, one love.
Aces.
Mwah.
Oh, jeez.